Welcome to the Theatre of Others podcast. My name is Adam Marple, and I'm the co-artistic director of the Theatre of Others. With the COVID-19 pandemic forcing a shutdown and reevaluation of space and gathering, we at the Theatre of Others are thinking about what stories we need and how best we can share them. We believe space is psychology, and it informs the way in which an audience interacts and reacts to what is presented to them. We create uniquely theatrical events in bespoke sensory performance spaces crafted to encourage curiosity and grant the audience permission to commune with the play. Now that space has moved online, how can we encourage interaction and action amongst an audience virtually? The Theatre of Others produces plays that both welcome and challenge the audience. We are committed to international collaboration and are a laboratory that helps artists grow through intensive study of their craft. The Theatre of Others creates a shared community of artists and audiences for the purpose of exploring the most profound issues of our lives and times. We believe the play watches the audience. The audience is necessary, and they are witness to what happens. And you get to be witness to us making that happen. The purpose of this podcast is to open up our process and let you in. We're peeling back the curtain, so to speak, and encouraging you to follow along, to ponder, prod, and question, to join us and criticize us if need be. Being a witness is no passive task, and it requires much from you. Are you up for the journey? On the podcast today from Melbourne, Australia, our co-artistic directors Budi Miller and myself in Cairo, Egypt. This podcast contains explicit language.
Hi, Adam.
Hi, Budi.
How are you?
I'm here. We're together. We haven't been together in a long time. Now, our listeners don't know that, but we've not been together for a couple of weeks.
It's been a long
we're together
time.
now.
It's been a long time. You went on holiday. I went to America.
You went on holiday. That's right. Yeah.
I didn't go on holiday. I was working.
It's a working
holiday. I was working, and I got my hair braided. See, you haven't said anything about my new hair.
It's glorious. Aisha does great work.
Aisha don't play.
Aisha don't.
And I'm giving you a little, little baseball cap with it, because it's fallen so beautifully. It's like it's nice flat on my head.
Yeah,
because it is my hair. It's real hair. As much as I paid for it, it's real. It's
somebody's
mine.
real hair.
It's mine. It's mine. It's somebody's real hair.
I
love that Malaysian curl. Ain't nothing like the Malaysian curl. Ain't nothing like the Malaysian curl. How was your trip?
My little holiday away was lovely. Went to Sinai and was out at the same place that I always go. It's Ramadan, so there was nobody there. Completely silent, completely quiet in the mountains up against the Gulf of Aqaba. Gorgeous. I'm not telling anybody where it is. I don't want anybody to come. It's mine. Leave it alone. But it was great.
Yeah.
It was so lovely just to be in silence and just not talk and just be quiet and read a book and sleep. Lots and lots of sleep. And sun, obviously, as you can see. So
I know. You look so handsome.
Thank you.
I had a wonderful trip in America. It was good. It's very good.
Yeah.
Lots of love and fealty and camaraderie and trying to make some money for the Encompass collective retreat and the visit. So y'all need to get on that. There is the auction. Yeah.
How long
y'all need to get on the auction. Well, it's still going on now. We should put that in the show notes. Y'all need to go to the auction, and there's a barong mask that's up for auction. There's acting coaching lessons with me. There is also the summer curriculum with Christopher Bays. There's a signed book by Christopher Bays. There is a painting by Jane Mello. Like it's a really cool silent auction. So just go and check out the silent auction on the show notes and make a bid. There's fantastic stuff, and all the proceeds go to allowing scholarship for both the Encompass Collective retreat and the visit, so that our community can afford to actually do the training. So yeah, So that's really good. So the gala open workshop presentation with the mask work was incredible. Thank you, Whitney Andrews and Marlon Vargas, for your incredible contribution to the visits and the exploration with mask work. So yeah, it was good. And then Peter uh, Peter J. Fernandez was the keynote. Yeah, it was amazing. It was an amazing
Does
time.
Peter run the acting program at Columbia now?
He sure does. There is an
Nice.
African American man running the acting program, the grad acting at Columbia. So
Yeah.
we're out there,
Thankfully.
y'all. We also have
Thankfully.
Tamala Woodard at the David Geffen School of Drama. You know, the people are there. We're there. We're making things happen. So yeah, so it was a really great. It was a great trip. It was a really good trip, but I was also really happy to come home. I was gone just long enough to take care of the business, um, and come home to my husband and my dog. It was really good.
Good. Lovely.
And then Fabio and I had a fantastic clown workshop last week.
Nice.
He's on the podcast last week. Mr. Mata, he's so smart. I love talking to
Hmm.
him.
He's great.
But he's no you, Adam Marple. It's okay. Did you?
There's no
Did,
jealousy there. I love him. He's fantastic. Every time I've been around him has just been a joy. I love hearing the two of you talk. He's great. I
well, we
totally
were
agree.
talking about decolonizing curriculum, one of your favorite subjects.
Don't get me started talking about this fucking curriculum. I will. I'll get heated.
Oh, what? What? Why?
No, 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 no,
Why,
no,
Adam
no,
Marple?
no, 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 no,
Why?
no, no. We're not talking about that. We
Well, training is a big thing. It's a big thing for theater trainers and
mm-hmm,
trainees.
mm-hmm.
There actually is a protocol that is necessary to survive in the professional world of theater. And also there is an integrity that needs to be maintained and sustained. But I think the challenge is um you know what, it goes right on what we were talking about. Remember, remember, I'm going to take you back. Just sit back and close your eyes and picture it.
Mm-hmm.
The year is 2020, and there were lots of manifestos sent out to, at the time,
Mm-hmm.
the powers that be, the theaters that be, the educational institutions that be. And I remember you had said that, the demands that were being requested was a good start, but by no means could they all be met. Do you remember this, Adam Marple?
I do remember this, and I remember saying that they were most likely going to give up on not even trying.
Now, so what do you mean by give up on not even trying? Because I have a theory around what you said. But what do you mean by give up and not trying?
That the demands were vast, as they should have been, because there was so much that needs to change. But as we always do as humans, we ask for the moon when the moon is not deliverable, and then those who are in the position to deliver things hear you ask for the moon and then go, well, I can't deliver the moon, so I'm not even going to deliver the atmosphere or the stratosphere or even a little bit even high. What's the least amount that I can give you that will shut you up for the time period until we can go back to normal? And that was my fear, and a lot of that has been a lot of that has happened with these institutions.
Well, I think what also has happened is there is a mediocrity and a dilution of of not integrity, but what's the word you use when you have to work really hard to make something substantial? Like you can't build a house with wobbly, bricks and mortar that doesn't stick. It's and but you have to work hard, like the just the basic sense of hard work and where that hard work is being put for mastery of a skill. I think has been diluted um, under the billboard, the auspice, the guise of diversity and inclusion. Because I love diversity and inclusion. I love me some
Yeah.
diversity and inclusion. Ideas, inclusion, diversity, equity.
Mm-hmm.
What's A?
I don't know.
What's A?
I don't know what
Ideas.
DEI. That's what I know. Diversity, equity, inclusion.
Accessibility, and S is uh, sustainability. So ideas.
Oh,
Um,
I've not heard this before. This is nice. I like this. Okay.
it's a nice one, right? Ideas, right?
Mm-hmm.
Um, so my challenge is that the emotional frustration, the uh, the under resourced, the under researched, the um, the what's it called when somebody takes advantage of an opportunity that because of their privilege they still have access to that others don't. The exploit, the exploit of privilege, and the fragility of not knowing enough has put us in a situation where there's this battle between virtuosic integrity versus
Yeah.
ideas.
Yeah. Yeah.
Ideas being inclusion, diversity, equity, accessibility, and sustainability.
Sustainability. Yeah. Yeah. Okay. Yes. Absolutely. I agree with that.
And I think what's really great is we can talk about what we're going to talk about because it opens it up into this conversation. Because I feel like when we get to a point where you have a privileged white person yelling about virtuosity versus ideas, we get into a really, really ugly narrative where dialogue, open dialogue has been shut down. But the and and the reasoning behind the the call to action is founded. So what are we talking about today, Adam Marple? So we can get on to this.
I came across an article earlier in March that I thought would spark a lovely conversation because you had chosen a book by the person who was mentioned in this article for one of your
Yes,
book
yes,
club books.
I
So
did.
this is an article from the Guardian in the UK earlier this month, March 3rd, titled "Without Craft, an Actor is a Liability." How
I
a
love
row,
that.
yeah, how row over teaching standards is causing a rift in UK theater industry. And it's an article about how Patsy Rosenburg is leaving Guildhall, one of the top drama schools in the UK, because
Top two.
of,
It's in the top two,
yeah, because of
if
what you
not
were just
number
talking
one.
about.
It
Yeah,
is number one according to the article. They are number one.
I guess so. Yeah.
They
Um,
are, and I agree.
so yeah, so that's what the article is about. It's really interesting. Um, I guess not how. Like I mean, just she's not she doesn't hold back, and she's just kind of out there, like kind of airing the dirty laundry of Guildhall and her time teaching as well, which is quite interesting. Um,
I think I will see. This is my challenge because when I first read the headline of it. It's one of those things where, is it a disgruntled
Sure.
elder whose time has passed?
Sure.
Is it a disgruntled elder with uh um real concern that should be looked at?
Mm-hmm.
Is it a disgruntled elder that is moving into their own brand with the podcast to say why what they say is more important than what somebody's learning at an institution? It speaks very close to my heart. Um, there's a lot of question marks in this article.
Yeah.
Um, I think what it but it's for me it just feels a little different in the sense of like, for Patsy Rosenburg to be upset about something and to be published in a newspaper is different than when a student is upset about something and to be published in a newspaper.
Yeah.
What it takes for a student to get something published in a newspaper about issues and problems and challenges that they're having with the curriculum and with the administration and with the policies and culture of an institution is exponentially higher than what it takes for Patsy Rosenburg to call somebody at the garden and say, I've got something to say.
Certainly. Certainly.
So for me, there is this issue of power that challenges me. And it's not to say that what she's saying is wrong, but there's an issue of power that challenges me with what is currently being taught, who's teaching it, how they're teaching it, what is her feeling around what is being taught. What she's saying is that they're not being taught the basic skills of being understood and being able to embody language and their voice. Is what I
Yeah.
gather from the article.
Yes.
The digs at the teaching faculty around them not teaching breath is suspect to me, because Catherine Fitzmaurice was the first person to even begin to have the breath conversation around voice, first and foremost. And the way that she said the classes that she's witnessed or the ones that she's not allowed to attend, it just feels like someone that is being pushed out because of a a new cultural teaching aesthetic that doesn't meet what always worked for them. I have I have no evidence of this. I'm just going by the vibe. I'm going by the vibe. And then the other thing that, on the flip side, then we got the fucking institution doing what they always do, where we're still number one. And according to this and that, we're number one. And but we wish her well. Because then I start having defensive ganglia about like the institutions and how they protect themselves.
Right.
But then the other thing, the last thing I want to say, and then please join in this conversation. The last thing I have to say is what it takes for Patsy Rosenburg to say farewell is also exponentially difficult and heartbreaking.
Yeah. Yeah. Uh, yeah. I mean, I think I have a lot of the same thoughts when I was reading it. Uh, Another thing that I also think about is there's no denying that education and academia has become commodity, and that the consumer of that commodity is the student. So
Yeah.
we know schools will also how can we make this more comfortable for you? So there could be a part of that exists as well. All of those things are true. We know we've talked about this on the podcast before, how our teachers were maybe a little long in the tooth, that had maybe overstayed a welcome, or they represented a type of theater that was abusive, unkind, a different way than what the theater that we advocate for is. So that absolutely could exist with her. She could be one of the last old guard that still exist out there. They're still teaching. That's a possibility. Also, she could be the kindest, nicest, sweetest person in the world who knows all of her shit. And the world has changed around her. It doesn't mean she's wrong, just the world has changed around her. Also, could be a bunch of little shits at school who, just don't want to do the work that it takes. It's not like we don't know that people don't always want to do the work. Now, I would hope that at the number one school in the UK, that they're all disciplined and talented and know how to take care of themselves, but they're also human beings. So why would that be the case, that these people are more special than the rest of the general population who don't know how to do that for themselves either?
I think you need to read some of the articles so people can have a reference, because you read what Patsy said.
All right.
Read what Patsy said, because they gotta hear this for themselves, because it's hearsay and just us talking around it if they haven't read the article. Read what she says.
Okay. Craft is a scaffolding to enhance creativity. It's like a chef knowing how to chop an onion. It's the work you do before you meet a director. Without craft, an actor is a liability in an ensemble because the director can't get them to do what they want. If they want to be a film or television actor, you don't necessarily need a lot of craft. But if you want to go on stage and serve an audience, you do. It became very clear to me that the people who were supposedly teaching voice and movement don't know what they're doing. You can't teach voice unless you teach breath. They don't even teach breath. Yeah, I'm trying to think.
That's deep. That's deep. That's deep. That's deep. I mean, she's right.
She's right.
She's right. She's right.
But she does go on to say she's heard from students that other teachers were not pushing them to excel, instead telling them, "Don't worry if you can't do it, just lie on the floor for a bit." She recalled one. She recalled one performer who told a director, "I'm too tired to go on today. I'm a bit emotional." I said, "I need help from teachers that teach like I do, and they wouldn't support me, so I had to resign." In a letter to her students, she explained, "My passions and belief in theater no longer resonate fully in the training of actors and actually aren't really understood in most theater companies around the world. I have to choose to leave and work with teachers and actors who are like-minded and can do some of the hard graft alongside me." Which we know, right?
Yeah.
We talk about all the time.
Yeah. I love the liability conversation, though. It's
true.
As a director, you need to be able to turn to the actor and trust that they're going to do the job. There's so many other things that you have to be worried about. You can't be trying to train the actor on the job.
Yeah, that's not, I don't want to get too much into my current situation, but my job as the director in the show is to be the director in the show, not the acting teacher also.
Yeah.
And play analysis teacher and movement teacher and breathwork teacher.
Well, that's a challenge. That's a challenge of being at a school, first of all. Yeah. And it's an even bigger challenge of being in a school that's not a conservatoire, where you have other faculty that are taking care of those components, so that when the director does get the actor or the student actor, that they have been training in ways to apply what they've been learning, so that they aren't a liability.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
My job is to challenge. My job is to build this beautiful world for them to exist in, and then set up these challenges for them to push their training against and apply it and see, it doesn't, it's school productions, they don't have to be successes. That's also another thing that we should talk about sometime, is how every institution thinks every single production has to be a success.
Really?
They're just that when something goes wrong, that they don't, like you experiment with something, that you don't try to make that experiment again because it it didn't go well. I mean, Gabon. You want to talk about the experience with Gabon? You know, something something from an institutional point of view is not like they always want to do, and not always perfect. And so then what do? Not going to do that again. That's like, but if there's no chance, if there's no place to experiment, and there's no place to possibly fail, and there's no place to do something different, and there's no place to push the boundaries in school, then where does that going to exist when you have to go into the professional world and then you have to actually do it? I'm just saying, you're not there anymore.
Speechless.
You're not there anymore. I can talk about them.
I am speechless. Well, and Jack David Burmeister understands on a very deep level. Yeah, it's a challenge to be a cutting edge contemporary artist at a mediocre educational educational institution.
Educational. Yep, that's that doctorate right there.
Well, yeah, I'm making my new words. Making new words. The educational. Yeah. Educational. Well, I'm just guffawed. I'm verklempt because you threw shade in such a beautiful way. Because I think the and from this point I can see Patsy Rosenburg's like, fuck it, I'm done.
Yeah.
I'm done. What happened to being the cutting edge education institution in the UK where we're putting actors into the industry that are really setting the standard, making paths for other actors to understand what the standard is. And there are only a handful of institutions around the world that do that.
Yeah.
Because like you said, the educational component of actors training in an institution has been colonized to fulfill the capitalist requirement of being a landowner, because most of them are these institutions. It's like when you look at the tuition for the undergraduate program at NYU, it's criminal. For a theater degree, you're going almost $300,000 in debt after 4 years of training.
I was just speaking with a mutual friend of ours who got into Columbia's playwriting program, and she told me what the tuition was, and I thought
I know who you're talking about.
Yeah, and boy, oh boy, it's gone up since.
What is tuition?
82 a year.
USD.
It was 68 when I was there, and I'll be in debt till I'm dead. But 82 a year, good God!
You need to direct a film.
Apparently, yeah.
Okay. Do they have a screen directing component now?
No, there's a film degree, but I don't know if if it's screenwriting or what. We had no television or film training. It's all just theater. So I'm supposed to make back that 300,000 with my theater career. Come at me, Columbia. Find me. Come get it. Yeah.
Oh, Jesus.
I know. She wants to go to Columbia, but I keep telling her to go to UCLA, where there's a free ride.
Oh, did she get into UCLA as well?
UCLA, Northwestern, and Columbia. And
not Northwestern. Do not go to Northwestern.
Northwestern and UCLA gave her a free ride, so
go to UCLA. UCLA will get her film credit. She'll be on the film. I'll call her.
But she doesn't. But she doesn't want to. I mean, she doesn't necessarily want. She wants to do theater.
She's a theater person.
I know.
She's a theater person.
Stupid us. Stupid us. Stupid us and our integrity.
Jeez.
Yeah.
Oh my god. Well, look, I think Patsy Rosenburg has the right to leave.
Of course she does.
I wanna listen to her podcast. But you know one of my favorite videos to watch though
What?
is the one with the Neanderthal voice.
Yeah, that's right. I remember that video. God.
Patsy Rosenburg having her student do the Neanderthal voice.
Yeah.
That has to be in the show notes. Because he's like, ah! And he's so serious. He's so serious. He's so serious.
He commits.
He had to commit because it's Patsy Rosenburg. It's a docu video, and it's her saying that this is exactly what the sound is because of the shape of the vocal tract. So apparently, ladies and gentlemen, non-binary conforming individuals, the sound of the Neanderthal is and the look in his face is so serious. Like he's doing Shakespeare. Like he's changing the world of voice to speech.
This is his big moment. This is where his career takes off. An agent's going to find him and be like, "You, sir, come with me. Let me open the door for your career."
It's his big moment.
Yep.
But he's performed at the National.
There you go. That's all it took.
He had his big break. That was his big break. Mm-hmm. So, Adam, what would make you do what Patsy Rosenburg did? What would make you go to the Guardian and say, "I'm done"? Throw your hands up in the air.
Well,
this is now a liability. Okay,
the answer is very little. The answer is very little. I have no filter today. I have no filter.
I love it when you have no filter. I love it when you have no filter. That's my favorite Adam. That's my favorite Adam.
I'm over
it. No
I'm
filter
done.
Adam's my favorite.
I'm done. I'm over it. You can't ask me this question.
Oh yeah, pass out.
I have to keep up the illusion for at least another couple of months until I have an answer from one of these schools.
Oh my god. What would it take for you to write The Guardian?
I think it would take $82,000 a year tuition and some bullshit training for me to go to The Guardian and be like, they're robbing your children. They're stealing your children's future. I call crime. I call robbery and murder. Yeah.
I call shade.
I mean...
Okay, so question. How much does someone pay for theater education?
You know... Well, they can pay $2,100. They can pay $2,100 and come to Bali this summer.
That's exactly right. And get how much out of it?
You get 12 days, some amazing training. I'd say you get well on to your first year of undergrad training.
Yeah.
Well on.
In 12 days.
In 12 days.
12 days. Into your first year and a half.
Yeah. Yeah. Right. Because we talk about this all the time. We talk about what the first year or two of undergrad training should look like. And then we just went like, okay, well, let's just do it then. So it doesn't need to be $82,000. I mean, look, I love Columbia. We're going to have Brian Kulick, who's the head of the program, on later on this summer. He's not charging. I mean, he's not, making the tuition fees. It's the school itself. And I'm sure he gets paid very well he should be, as well Anne should be, as well Peter J. Fernandez should be, but they're not making the collective amounts of what their students are paying,
I think you've hit it right on the head right there, because it's actually about the university.
Right.
The universe, especially Columbia, they don't care about art. They
It's a
care
bit
about
of
their real estate
yeah.
and their ranking
Yes.
academically.
Yes. I'm sure there's
The blessing is,
I'm sure there's some part that's like we like being known as the best directing school. We are vying to be one of the best acting schools in photos or US News Reports best acting schools, but like no, that's who cares? There's
yeah,
there's
but
there's
yeah,
3200 people that care about that a year. That's it.
yeah, but Yale's gone free. Juilliard's gone free.
UCLA's gone free. Yeah.
UCLA's gone free.
The endowments.
Brown is free. You know, there is no reason why Columbia should be as expensive as it is.
I don't know what to say. I don't know what it is. But you know, how much was VCA? How much is AUC? How much all these schools are just because you're not look, students, you're not paying us. You're not paying your teachers. You're paying the
No, you're
university.
not.
Because I would take any one of your tuitions and it would still be more than my salary. If I could I will take one student this year and take their tuition at AUC, and it'll be more than I would be making in my salary. It's ridiculous.
Yeah.
We're not getting that, and neither is the department. The department's not getting that money. They're
That's
not
the other
building you.
thing. It's
They're
like
not
you get
building you a new
students paying
theater
all
every
this
year.
money. Exactly. Exactly. You know, what kind of facilities are they providing for you? But this podcast has made a turn.
Because I have no filter today.
I love when you have no filter. I love it.
I'm so.
But it's also
angry.
It's what Patsy is. It's actually not what Patsy's talking about.
It's not.
Pat's talking about the curriculum.
Yeah. But the curriculum doesn't come from us either. It comes from on high. We have to like, right? It's the same thing that happened to us at
Yeah.
LaSalle. It's the same thing that like you want to teach something because this is what the industry is asking us to teach. It's what they need to be taught. It's what the skills that the foundational skills, that onion chopping that Patsy Rosenburg's talking about. And you go, no, we can't have an extra voice class. You can only have 2 voice classes your first year and your second year, no voice class in third year. The fuck? What? That's it? No, it is about curriculum, and it's coming from on high. It's coming from the university itself. It's coming from this is just a little too difficult. We got our student evaluations back, and you didn't hit the number that you needed to.
Oh God! Fuck those student evaluations.
Yeah,
They don't fucking know how can a student evaluate their process in a acting program when they're trying to like? Well, look, I think the
no,
criteria for student evaluations needs to be
yes,
reinvestigated.
there should be a place where the students can have the feedback. Absolutely, they need to talk about their process, and if they are feeling unsafe in those situations. But the student evaluation is not
Exactly.
the place. The student
That's what I think
evaluation
it
is
should
not the
be.
place.
Yeah, exactly. Like one thing. What's one thing to give feedback about something you're still trying to learn, but it's another thing to give feedback about something that you intrinsically know is wrong.
Right. Yes. Yes.
Because the problem is when students actually investigate curriculum that's intrinsically uh, dangerous and what is it called with the microaggressions that are rooted in microaggressions and privilege, they get shot down the same way that they would if I don't understand this exercise. And that's where when I go, oh, it's Patsy Rosenburg, privileged white woman, upset because the world is changing and they want us to be able to use the pronouns that they use. I get like that. And that's not what she's arguing. But it felt a bit like that when she was like, I've heard from students
Yeah. I mean, well,
and
so
just
much of this
lie on
is
the ground.
So, I mean, that's the problem with this article is so much of it's hearsay, but there's also enough of it in here that we both kind of went like, yeah, I've been there too.
Yeah.
And the thing is, both of the things could be absolutely true. She's old, she's beyond her time, and it needs to move on. And also, Guildhall has a problem where they're not doing foundational training anymore. Both of those things could absolutely be true. And the thing is, it probably is a little bit of both. We know this.
Yeah.
You know?
And also, there's one other key element that we haven't discussed. Voice teachers are crazy.
Thank you. Yes,
they're never happy.
That's true. That is true.
Voice teachers are crazy. I'm one. They're never happy. I'm one.
That's true. You know who I've never seen unhappy? Movement teachers. Movement teachers always seem just great. Voice teachers are just unhappy. Movement teachers are happy. I don't know what it is.
Yeah. So I think it was just time. But what a fantastic exit.
And you know what? She's going to do her own thing. And she's not going to be in need of students. There'll be people all running to work with her now that she's not bound by the institution.
I think her certification's like $30,000.
Okay.
So to get certified in the Rosenburg methodology, I believe it's something like $30,000.
Well, she's doing fine. She'll be okay.
$30,000.
That's a third of Columbia. No problem. But then you get to say that you're Rosenburg certified.
Where?
At all these institutions that we've been shitting on. That's where.
I would just love to have. You know what I would love to have? If someone would just gift me $1 million.
That's what I keep saying.
Why can't we win the lottery?
Well, I guess I'd have to play it to win it, but
you got to play to win. You got to play to win. You got to play to win, Adam. You got to play to win.
Yeah.
Because if someone would just give me a huge chunk of money, we could make real change. And it wouldn't be that petty change. It wouldn't be like singles and some change. Exactly. We will be making it rain, girl, making it rain.
That's right. Like taking you to the club.
Up in here, up in here. But the problem is, you don't make any money in theater. You don't make any money in education unless you're an administrator.
Ugh.
And there, my friend, hangs the tail.
Yeah. No, thank you.
And thereby hangs the tail.
No, thank you.
So you're saying we're just going to have to be poor, starving theater artists for the rest of our lives?
I guess so.
Talking on a podcast about theater?
Yeah. Poor Jack.
Well, I think we should take a break on that note. Let's take a break on that note.
Let's come back and cry in our tea mugs and then come back with some provocations. Yeah.
And then come back with some provocations.
Yeah, let's do it.
Ladies and gentlemen, non-binary conforming individuals, you're listening to the stereo sounds of J. D. B. Jack David Burmeister. And we're back, and we're back, and we're back. Adam, do you have any provocations?
I don't know. What is the this would be I'd actually this would be a worldwide challenge for any of our listeners actually. What
because we have a worldwide listenership.
Exactly. But what I'm saying is, like, what would be what's an acceptable tuition for drama school?
Ooh.
Like, I know we have paid an exceptional amount of money for things, and I know there are people who listen to us who have done the same, but like
Overpaid.
overpaid, yes, exactly. But like beyond the like, oh, this is an exception. I've got into Juilliard, and I don't like. I would pay whatever to get into Juilliard. But like, what do you think is an actual like acceptable amount of payment for school, for
Maybe they should.
formal education with a degree, not for workshops or things like that? Although I'd love to hear your thoughts on what should we be charging for workshops as well. But like, what do you those of you who have gone to school or those who are thinking about going to school, what do you think is an acceptable tuition for?
I was ready to answer it myself. I was like, I got something to say, but I'm not going to say it.
I'm curious.
I'm not going to say it. I think we should hear our listeners' responses to how much it's to cost.
And free can't be the answer. Free can't be the answer. Because obviously we agree with you. It should be free, but it's not. So not everybody has an endowment like Yale. So what should be the acceptable tuition to go to school?
I have an idea. But I'm going to hold back because I don't want people to steal my idea.
Okay. Trademark Budi Miller, 2024.
I know. It's not even a trademark. It's just like, nah, I won't say it. I'll wait. Y'all need to come and y'all need to like y'all need to come in and tell us your ideas, because I want to give my ideas, but I'm not going to do it until you do so. So I'm going to jump on Adam's provocation and say, do it so I can respond to it.
Please. Yeah.
So how will we know that they did these things, Adam Marple?
They're going to go to speakpipe.com/theater of others. Again, speakpipe.com/theater of others, theater with an R-E, theater of others, all one word. Leave a 90-second voice message on there. You can, we'll play it. We'll play your answers to our provocations, or we'll respond to any of your questions you have. If you don't want your voice on there, you 100%. Can just send it to podcast@theaterofothers.com. We are also on Instagram, Facebook, and our website.
Instagram, y'all.
Plenty of ways to get in touch with us, but the only way you're going to know if we send you a challenge like this, a provocation worldwide, wanting to know, is if they do what, Budi?
Subscribe. We come to your inbox every week. And how you gonna know? If you don't subscribe? And then if you really like us, you can give us 5 stars like my Uber drivers. You give me 5 stars, I give you 5 stars, 5 stars, 5 stars. Everybody wins. It goes into the algorithm. If you leave us a little comment that says, you know what? They're so good, I want to give them 5.3 stars because they are what? Sickening. Ha! And then it goes into the algorithm. The algorithm then takes us to not the top 5% podcasts of the world, but the top 1% podcasts of the world. And if we're in the top 1% podcasts of the world, Adam Marple, who's coming on the show?
Oprah.
Exactly. Oprah's coming on the show. And when we get Oprah, you know, take a step back, cowgirl, who's coming next?
Cowboy Carter herself.
Beyonce. Cowboy Carter. Beyonce. Hell yeah. And if we get Beyonce, you know we got Michelle Obama. Hey, Michelle Obama. Girl, yeah, your mama. Michelle Obama. She's everybody's mama. Michelle Obama. Hey. Yes. So how can you not subscribe?
That's what you got to do.
It's intense. Yeah, because
it's a lot.
It all works out. It's a 0-win, everyone game sum, all of it.
Yep.
Sum it up.
That's what it is.
1 game, 1 winner, 1 loser, no love. Losers, 1 love. Guantanamera.
Yep. All that. And a bag of chips.
And a bag of chips.
We give you everything here at the podcast, Theater Brothers Podcast.
And for a limited time only, If you subscribe, and give us 5 stars, you get a free Theater of Others Jello mold.
I'm just going to get onto the website real quick and make that up and put that onto our... Could you imagine a Theater of Others Jello mold? These Jello molds are flying out the door. I can't keep them in the store. It's crazy. Everybody wants a Jello mold.
Oh my God. I love you, Adam.
I love you too, Budi.
I'll see you soon. See you next week.
See you next week.
And for y'all, we'll be in your inbox next week. Bye!
Thanks for joining us this week on the Theater of Others podcast. Make sure to visit our website, theaterofothers.org, where you can subscribe to the show in iTunes, Stitcher, or via RSS, so you'll never miss a show. While you're at it, if you found value in this show, we'd appreciate a rating on iTunes. Or if you'd simply tell a friend about the show, that would help us out too. A special thank you to Purple Planet for the music you've heard. The Theater of Others creates a shared community of artists and audiences for the purposes of exploring the most profound issues of our lives and times. We believe the play watches the audience. The audience is necessary, and they are witness to what happens. And you get to be witness to us making that happen. The purpose of this podcast is to open up our process and let you in. We're peeling back the curtain, so to speak, and encouraging you to follow along, to ponder, prod, and question, to join us and criticize us if need be. Being a witness is no passive task and requires much from you. Are you up for the journey? Be sure to tune in next week for our next journey.